In the year 627 CE, the fledgling Muslim community in Medina faced one of its greatest challenges. The Battle of the Trench, also known as the Battle of Khandaq, was not just a military confrontation but a test of faith, unity, and ingenuity. It was a battle that would define the future of Islam and demonstrate the resilience of the Muslim community under the leadership of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. The gathering stormed the Quraysh of Mecca, still bitter over their defeat at the Battle of Badr and their inability to crush the Muslims at Uhud, were determined to eliminate the growing threat of Islam once and for all. They formed a confederation of tribes, including the Banu Nadir, a Jewish tribe exiled from Medina, the Ghatafan, and other Bedouin tribes. This alliance, numbering around 10,000 warriors, was one of the largest armies ever assembled in Arabia at the time. The Muslims, on the other hand, had only about 3,000 men. The odds were heavily against them, and the situation seemed dire. The people of Medina were gripped with fear, knowing that their survival hung in the balance. A bold strategy as the enemy forces advanced toward Medina, Prophet Muhammad, PBUH, convened a council of his companions to discuss their options. It was during this meeting that Salman al-Farsi, a Persian companion, proposed a revolutionary idea: digging a trench around the vulnerable parts of Medina to prevent the enemy from entering the city. The idea of a trench was unheard of in Arabian warfare at the time. The Arabs were accustomed to open field battles, and the concept of a defensive barrier was foreign to them. However, Prophet Muhammad, PBUH, immediately recognized the wisdom in Salman's suggestion and approved the plan. The trenches dug. The entire Muslim community, men and women alike, rallied to dig the trench. The Prophet, PBUH, himself participated in the labor, lifting dirt and rocks alongside his companions. This act of humility and solidarity inspired the Muslims to work tirelessly, despite the harsh conditions. The trench was dug in just 6 days, stretching approximately 5.5 kilometers, 3.4 miles, long, 4.5 meters, 15 feet, wide, and 3.4 meters, 10-13 feet, deep. It was a monumental effort, and the Muslims completed it just in time, as the enemy forces arrived at the outskirts of Medina. The enemy arrived when the Confederation army reached Medina. They were stunned to find the trench blocking their path. Their horses and camels could not cross it, and their plans for a swift invasion were thwarted. The Quraysh and their allies were forced to camp outside the trench, launching occasional arrows and insults toward the Muslims. The Muslims, positioned on the other side of the trench, remained vigilant. Prophet Muhammad, PBUH, divided the trench into sections, assigning groups of companions to guard each part. The Muslims endured harsh weather, including cold winds and hunger, but their faith kept them steadfast. Psychological warfare. The Confederation tried various tactics to break the Muslims' resolve. They sent emissaries to negotiate with the Banu Qurayza, a Jewish tribe still residing in Medina, hoping to incite them to betray the Muslims. The Banu Qurayza, despite their treaty with the Muslims, agreed to join the Confederation, further escalating the crisis. The news of the Banu Qurayza's betrayal spread fear among the Muslims. The enemy now had the potential to attack from within Medina, putting the entire community at risk. Prophet Muhammad, PBUH, remained calm and reassured his companions, reminding them to trust in Allah's plan. Miracles and divine assistance. During the siege, several miracles occurred that bolstered the Muslims' morale. On one occasion, a large rock in the trench proved too difficult to break. Prophet Muhammad, PBUH, struck it with a pickaxe, and sparks flew, illuminating the area. He prophesied that these sparks symbolized future Muslim victories in Persia, Yemen, and Byzantium. Another miracle involved a small group of companions who were guarding a vulnerable section of the trench. Despite being vastly outnumbered, they held their position, and the enemy hesitated to attack. This was seen as a sign of divine protection. The turning point. As the siege dragged on, tensions grew within the Confederation. The Quraysh and their allies were frustrated by their inability to breach the trench. Supplies were running low, and the harsh desert conditions took their toll. Meanwhile, the Muslims, though weary, remained united and resilient. One night, a fierce storm swept through the enemy camp, scattering their tents and extinguishing their fires. The Confederation, already demoralized, saw this as a bad omen and began to withdraw. The Banu Qurayza, realizing their allies were retreating, abandoned their plans to attack Medina. Aftermath and lessons: the Battle of the Trench ended without a direct confrontation, but it was a decisive victory for the Muslims. The Confederation's failure to conquer Medina marked the beginning of the decline of Quraysh power. The Muslims' unity, faith, and innovative strategy had triumphed against overwhelming odds. However, the betrayal of the Banu Qurayza could not be overlooked. After the siege, the Muslims dealt with the tribe in accordance with the terms of their treaty. This event underscored the importance of loyalty and the consequences of treachery.